What's up, PLO Mastermind? Welcome to the very first episode of the mental game fundamentals. In this video, I want to give you a short overview of what we have already planned for the series, and I also want to again ask you to give us your input. Describe your specific situation as a poker player and let us know what you exactly want to learn in this series. Because the more I can get into contact with you, the more I know about you, the better I can help you. And of course, we're going to get into the first topic, which won't be an easy one. I'm not going to just give you a light, easy scratch the surface exercise, but instead we will talk about a very important and pretty deep topic. We will talk about your values and motivation. But before we get started, there's one thing I really want to stress, and that's you have to do the exercises. There's no substitute for them. Because if you want to change your behavior, if you want to change your mindset, that's not just a switch you can flip. It doesn't change overnight. It takes practice, it takes patience, and there will be setbacks. So please do the exercises. If you're watching this on a phone while you're on the train, or if you don't have the time to do the exercises right now, pause the video, set a reminder, and do them later. Let's get started. So here we are, let's get started. As you probably know by now, my name is Jan Filippi. I'm a psychologist and former poker professional. If you want to know a little bit more about me, you can check out Fernando's YouTube channel, because we did a 2-hour Twitch special where I talk a little bit about myself, how I got into poker, into psychology, and into coaching poker players. But for now, I want to get right into the content. And I want to start with the question, why is the mental game so important today? Well, first of all, because your competition is stronger than ever. Edges are getting smaller, and studying 5 hours of poker theory does not improve your win rate as much as it used to. At the same time, many poker players, even professionals, still struggle with their mental game a lot. So I think there's a tremendous amount, a lot of room for improvement, a lot of potential for improving. And by watching this series, and especially by doing the exercises, you will create a significant edge over your competition. It's crazy to me sometimes, even at the highest level in professional sports, not everyone has a mental game coach. Even though there's so much scientific evidence and popular examples, like, let's say, Phil Jackson coaching the LA Lakers, that the mental game does not only improve your performance, but also your quality of life. Then, of course, the poker economy is in constant change and has been so ever since Black Friday. There's new rules and regulations coming up every month pretty much. Sites and game modes are changing all the time. So being able to deal with constant change and uncertainty is a really valuable skill, not only in poker, but in life in general. Because it doesn't matter how much you work on yourself, there will always be circumstances, events in your surroundings which you can't control. And being able to deal with that allows you to focus on on your behavior, which you can control, and which will make it, even under uncertain or hard circumstances, to achieve positive results in the long term. And lastly, and definitely most importantly, this video series, but also the mental game section in general, will be about much more than poker. Actually, in reality, there is no mental game of poker. There's only a mental game of life. Because, of course, everything you do at the poker table, your results, your performance at the poker table, will influence other areas of your life, will influence your mood, and will affect how you behave in other areas of your life. And at the same time, your quality of life, your satisfaction with life will influence how you perform at the poker tables. So we will of course focus on poker, but it will not be only about poker. It will be about improving your life as a whole. So what have we planned so far? What will be the content of this Fundamentals of Mental Game course? First of all, in this video, we will talk about your values. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of life do you want to live? And how does that relate to poker? Do you even know what your real values are? And do you know how poker enables you to live out those values? Or maybe there are conflicts between poker and your values. Maybe you value your health a lot, but at the same time, poker is a really stressful job and impairs your health sometimes. So we're going to dig really deep and ask what are your values and how do they influence your poker life, and how does poker influence your values? Because only if you really know why you play poker will you be able to sustain motivation in the long term. And very closely linked to values are goals, which we will talk about in the second video. Goals and motivations are very similar and they are closely linked, but they are different. Values are general orientations in life, which you can never fail at, but you can also never check them off. You can always use them as an orientation for every decision and for every challenge. You can always ask yourself, for example, what do I have to say? What do I have to do to be an honest person? But you can never check off honesty. You can never say, all right, that's it. I've been honest often enough. I'm done with honesty. But a goal which is linked to honesty, which you can check off, would be, for example, telling your friend your honest opinion about his behavior. So they are very closely linked, but they are not the same thing. And formulating good goals is incredibly important for your motivation as well. As you of course know, poker players tend to formulate those crazy grinding challenges as goals and similar stuff. And let me just get this off my chest. Those are some terrible, terrible goals. Trying to grind out a crazy amount of hands, or even worse, winning a certain amount of money in a short time. Those are not very healthy and motivating goals. And in the second video, I will show you how to formulate not only goals that keep you motivated, but also help you to celebrate successes better. Because yes, performance goals are important, but what's even more important are developmental goals. So focusing on what you have done right, even when your performance goal failed, or what you've learned in a difficult situation or in a challenge. So we will talk about what makes a good goal and how do you celebrate achieving those goals. Because if you keep running from one goal to the next without ever taking a second to breathe and to celebrate what you have already achieved, it doesn't matter how much you achieve. You will not be happy with it. You will not be satisfied. You need to take those small breaks and look back and realize what you have achieved already in order to stay motivated and stay healthy and keep enjoying the process. Then we will talk about dealing with negative emotions, not just downswings and bad beats. Of course, we will talk about them as well. We will talk about how to deal with them in the situation, in the moment. But more importantly, we will talk about dealing with negative emotions in general, because negative emotions can stem from any area of your life, and all of them will affect your poker performance. So, for example, if you have a personal conflict with somebody, that's not directly poker related, but of course will influence your performance at the poker table. And we will talk about flow and presence, how to live in the moment, enjoy the moment, and as a side effect, as a positive side effect, improve your performance. You probably know this sweet feeling of forgetting everything around you when you play poker, of being completely in the moment, not thinking about the past bad beats or the future bad beats that might come, but just thinking about the decision that is at hand. That is not only a great feeling and very enjoyable, but it also, of course, improves your performance. And I will show you techniques how to get into that flow more often. Then we will talk about positive emotions because they are very important too. For a long time, the mental game of poker and psychology in general have had a very strong focus on all the negative things in life. And only in recent years has this sub-branch of psychology come up, which is called positive psychology, which focuses on what makes us happy and how to actively cultivate positive emotions. But it's also about how to grow from adversity, how to grow and become stronger through crisis. And experiencing positive emotions does not only, of course, make you feel good, but it also improves your performance, your focus, your creativity, and your ability to get into the flow. Then we will talk about dealing with negative self-talk and ego problems. Your ego can get in your way both when it's too small and when it's too big. We will talk about how to develop a balanced confidence, a humble but strong confidence where you are able to realistically assess your skills, whether you are a winner in a game, whether you should play a game, but at the same time not be afraid or too careful. And we will talk about taking action and doing so before you feel ready. That's an incredibly important topic because if you want to change your mindset, if you want to change your habits and your behavior, you don't do so by passively consuming theory. You, of course, do so by taking action. And taking action will only work if you do so before you feel 100% ready. If you do something for the first time, if you try out a new behavior which you think of as useful or healthy, you will not feel ready. You cannot wait for the perfect circumstances until there are no doubts, until there is no fear. You have to start taking action while you still are afraid, while you still feel that uncertainty. And then you will realize those feelings, those blockades, those mental blockades will become weaker and weaker every time you take action. And there's no switch to turn them off before you take the action. We will talk about the very basics, how to live a healthy lifestyle that doesn't suck, that doesn't feel like a chore, but actually becomes something which you enjoy. Because it doesn't matter how much you work on your poker theory, how much you work on the other aspects of the mental game, if you don't sleep well, if you don't eat well, and if you don't move your body, you are missing out on a lot of potential. So we will talk about how to develop that healthy lifestyle that can actually be fun. And we will talk about discipline and delayed gratification. Because in today's world, instant gratification is around everywhere, often only one mouse click away. You can order something at Amazon, you can get fast food online, you can get a like on Facebook quickly. Everything that gives you short-term gratification, but is often unhealthy in the long term, is around everywhere these days. And being able to delay that gratification, to make the hard decision which will lead to better results long term, is of course very hard to learn. I experience that myself every day, but is one of the most valuable skills you can learn today for your whole life, I think. Then we will talk about relationships in and beyond poker. Relationships, as tons of scientific evidence tells us, are the most important factor for your satisfaction in life. But they are also really important for your success and for your success in poker. Finding great study mates, finding mentors, finding coaches, finding partners for cooperations, just finding somebody which you enjoy talking about poker to is really, really important. And we will talk about how to improve your poker knowledge, how to improve your poker performance, but also your relationships in other areas of your life. Now I'm gonna quickly get into the theory and the psychological models behind the exercises we will use. I will not dive into it too deeply. If you're interested in it, definitely let us know, and we can talk about the science and the models more in future videos. But for now, I'm gonna keep it short and simple. The very basis of everything we will do in this series is the PERMA model from positive psychology, which addresses the questions of what makes us happy in life, what makes us successful in our jobs. There's a ton of other models out there, most of them completely unscientific, some of them scientific, but the PERMA model is by far the most sophisticated one, backed by the most research, so that's why I'm using it. PERMA stands for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishment. Positive emotions, if you want to relate it to poker, means that you should be able to find joy in playing poker. Not only if you're running well, but also if you're running poorly. And as I already mentioned, positive emotions, they not only make you feel good, but they also improve your performance, your creativity, your ability to focus, your ability to get into the flow. Then we have engagement, which means you need something in life which you really want to spend your time and energy on. Something where you can use your strength, where you will be challenged, but a challenge which you will enjoy. Then we have relationships, which of course are crucial not only to your general life satisfaction, but also for your career development, for finding the right people to surround you with, who you like talking to, who can help you, who you can help, and so on. Then we have meaning. You need to find a meaning in what you do. For example, if you can support your family through poker, or if you can live out your value of freedom and travel a lot through poker, then you are much more likely to stay motivated and keep playing well for long term. And finally, we have accomplishment, which means you should be able to recognize all your small and big successes. And the small ones actually being the important ones, because if you're only chasing after that big goal, you will always be unsatisfied until you reach that big goal. And then you're actually very likely to forget about it right away and set the next big goal and be unhappy again. So recognizing all the small successes you have on your way to the big ones and celebrating them is really important. And in order to work on those 5 areas, in order to develop good habits and a good mindset relating to those 5 areas, we will use the ACT model. ACT model stands for accepting things the way they are, committing to relevant goals, and taking action even if you don't feel ready. Accepting things the way they are does not only include things in the outer world, like for example, your country banning you from a poker site, but it also includes your thoughts and your thoughts about yourself and your self-image. Because your thoughts are actually something which you cannot completely control. You probably know that within the span of a day or even with the span of a few hours, your image of yourself and your self-talk can completely change. If you sleep well, if you wake up in the morning, you're feeling like you're the king of the world. You tell yourself you can do everything. Life is awesome. You are awesome. And then, I don't know, at a few hours later, something really frustrating happens and you start talking to yourself negatively. And all of a sudden, everything changed. And realizing that your thoughts are random at times and are not completely under your control, just as some things in the outer world are, actually frees up a lot of time and energy, because you're not wasting that time and energy fighting your own thoughts or fighting something in the outer world which you can't control. And yeah, that leads to freeing up your mind, freeing up your time and your energy, which you then can use to commit to goals which are important to you and really only to you. They should not be goals which you feel like you have to do for others, but are really your goals, according to your values. And then taking action while you don't feel ready, while your inner critic is still telling you you can't do it, It's too risky, you shouldn't do it, you're not allowed to do it. While all that negative self-talk or uncertainty or fear is still going on, you can still act on your goals. But of course, there's a million other topics we can talk about, and we're still very much open for your input, even for this series. If you want to talk about your specific situation, let us know, and I can link the exercises and link the theory to your specific situation and let you know how that exercise would help you personally. So just send us a message on Discord or on the forums, and I will try to implement as much of it as possible, because it will make the series a bit more lively and a bit more relevant to you. Thank you again for tuning in. See you in the next video. Goodbye.